Y'all know what the news is, but in a minute you're gonna hear the rest of the story. But for now, it's time for another review. Today we're going through 2 Chronicles chapter 32 and 33, and tomorrow we're going to do the entire book of Nahum. That's right, Nahum chapter 1, 2, and 3. The whole shebang, all of it, every bit of it. So here we are starting in chapter 32 of 2 Chronicles, and this is about Sennacherib's invasion. Again, Hezekiah's faith in God here was put to the test when King Sennacherib of Assyria invaded Judah. Now, this invasion took place in 701 BC, as we talked about previously, and I guess it was about 10 or 11 days ago when we read through chapter 36 and 37 in Isaiah, where we caught this story. And it goes through Sennacherib's servant's speech and deliverance from Sennacherib. In other words, King Hezekiah's deliverance. Now, in this section here, the parallel passages for chapter 32, verses 20 through 23 are 2 Kings chapter 18 and also Isaiah 36 and 37. And those chapters, they provide a much lengthier description of the verbal exchanges, as well as more detailed information about the events surrounding the siege. For the chronicler here, though, the crucial thing was that Hezekiah, who received encouragement from the prophet Isaiah, he trusted in God and received a miraculous reward for following God. The Assyrian army of 185,000 that were gathered around Jerusalem were there to get him, but the Lord went to work on behalf of his anointed. In one night, the entire army was annihilated from Sennacherib, whose forces had to withdraw and return to his homeland, where eventually he was assassinated by his own sons, as we talked about before. So we end chapter 32 with Hezekiah's wealth, his works, and his death. And of course here Hezekiah received a very good death evaluation by the chronicler, but he was mourned by all of Judah. He was buried with honor among all the former kings of Judah as well. So that's good. So we get into chapter 33, verse 1. And we're talking here about Manasseh, King Manasseh. He was the 13th king of Judah, as we talked about before, son of Hezekiah, that extreme idol worshiper. He even brought idols into the temple. These were all the bad things. But when we get to verse 10 of chapter 33, we get some new stuff. And now we get to hear the rest of the story that we didn't hear about in the other books. Now, Manasseh was captured, okay? And he was carried off to Babylon by the king of Assyria. The passages here parallel 2 Kings chapter 21, but 2 Kings chapter 21 does not mention the exile or this humiliation, nor does it say anything about him repenting and returning to God. It was a very sincere repentance that God honored. So Manasseh was able to return to Jerusalem and take up his duties as king once again. Now we get to verses 14 through 17 here, and Manasseh attempted to undo all the damage that he had caused. He actually repaired the destruction that he had been wrought on him by the Assyrian invasion. He purified the temple, removed all the idols. He reinstituted regular sacrifices, and he even instructed the people to serve the Lord. And then, of course, he died. Now, his son takes over, Amon, Judah's king Amon, and he was the 14th king of Judah, the son of Manasseh. But he was an idol worshiper too. And in fact, he was so bad, it seems to me that probably some of the people were mad because they assassinated him. Not sure if that's exactly why they assassinated him, but he was assassinated by his people. Whatever repentance or reform that Manasseh had attempted didn't carry over to his son and his successor Ammon. He picked up right where his father had left off right before his repentance, going back into idolatry. But with Ammon, there was no midlife repentance. In fact, he was, like I said, he was only the king for 2 years, and his servants were probably so ticked off at him that they actually just assassinated. The people were pretty outraged about the assassination, though, and they even had Ammon's assassins killed for assassinating Ammon. So there's a whole lot of death going on and a whole lot of assassination going on here. And that is the rest of the story for today. I hope this has touched you. If it has, click that like button, subscribe button, the follow button in the little boxy glove so you can rumble with me on Rumble. And of course, click the little jingle bell so you get notified the next time I upload a video, which will be tomorrow for another episode of the Bible in 1 Year with the Preacher's Husband. We'll see you then.